This Town of Adams Board of Selectmen's meeting is now in session, Wednesday, July 18th, 2018. Would you all please stand and join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes. We have a set of four: May 30th, 2018, June 6th, June 13th, and June 20th. May 30th, Rick was not at that meeting. All of the other three, we had a full board. What is the board's pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve them as submitted for the May 30th, 2018 meeting.
We have a motion by Christine. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Jim. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Any abstentions?
Yep. Aye.
Rick abstains. And we have the other three.
Yeah, and Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve them as submitted for the June 6, 2018 meeting, June 13th, 2018 workshop, and June 20th, 2018 meeting.
We have a motion by Christine. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Rick. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Unanimous decision. Public comment. Anyone in the audience who would like to address the board for any item that is not on the agenda? Yes, could you please approach the board?
Do you want us up here?
Right up here, please. Yep. And could you please state your names and the organization you're with?
Okay, my name is Barbara Bates. I live on 14 Allen Street in Adams.
My name is Debbie Nowicki, and I live at 6 Mill Street.
Okay. And what can we do for you?
So I'm just wondering, I have a few questions. First one foremost is why the locomotive out in front of the house idles for at least 3 hours every Saturday and Sunday, and if there's something that you're planning on doing to exclude some of the emissions that's being propelled into our air in our residential neighborhood.
Okay, so this is where right by the train station, right?
Yes, right across the river.
They begin, and you indicate that they idle for 3 hours on Saturday morning?
And Sunday morning. Sunday and Saturday, I think it starts in the morning and ends in the afternoon. I have the train schedule here if you'd like it.
Okay, I think we understand the train schedule. Is there anything else?
I was just wondering if it was if it was looked at and if it was updated for emission control by the EPA, if it was retrofitted for the emission controls, and if there's something that's in the plans in the future to keep our environment safe and clean for our residents in Adams.
So we do not, so I'm not familiar with them idling. I'm not sure if anyone on the board is. We can invite a representative from the Berkshire Scenic Railway to come to a meeting in the near future to discuss these things, or we will get back to you in a letter, but some way we will get back in touch with you with a response. Okay? And we just make sure that we have your address. I think, you have everything?
I don't, but I'll phone you.
Yeah. Okay, so if you can just take care of that, get your,
Mr. Chairman,
Sure, go ahead,
I would want to clarify that when this project was conceived, the project had to go through the Massachusetts Environmental Policy Act. It's commonly known as MEPA. They actually had to set up monitoring of before the ambient air quality before and then the anticipated ambient quality afterwards. So to answer your question, there was testing, atmospheric testing, to see what kind of impact would be placed on the neighborhood. And there was not a concern about that during that process. So I do have that document, that study in my office, if you'd like to come into the town administrator's office. I'm happy to share it with you. But as the chairman said, we will ask about the idling. It seems, just offhand, it seems certainly in the summer months excessive for 3 hours of idling. In the winter, they may have like some issues with getting the locomotive started and stuff, but certainly we can ask about that to try to see if they can't condense that amount of time.
School buses have been told, waiting
Sure,
outside school
absolutely.
buildings, that they need to turn their buses off because of the
Right.
idling issue, the fumes.
Right,
So we feel this is the same situation.
right.
Um,
So, yes, just so the board, I will follow up personally. I will contact Berkshire Scenic, and I'll reach out to you both, and if needed, we can meet with them, meet with their representatives, and see if we can't find a more acceptable solution.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anyone else who would like to address the board? Okay. New business. Ratification, Community Development Program Manager, Rebecca Ferguson. So I have a letter here from the interim town administrator, Donna, and I will read that letter in regards to the appointment of Rebecca Ferguson. Dear Chairman Duval, this letter is to advise the Board of Selectmen that subject to the board's ratification as provided in Section 10 of the Charter, I am pleased to appoint Rebecca Ferguson to the position of Program Manager within the Community Development Department. For the past 6 years, Ms. Ferguson has worked for the trustees of reservations, managing a $1 million capital budget and coordinating an annual list of projects implemented by these funds. She has considerable experience in grants administration and contract management, and she has been responsible for a broad range of public outreach and educational programming. Ms. Ferguson has extensive project management experience, and she holds a master's degree in urban planning from New York University. With the board's ratification, Ms. Ferguson will begin her duties as program manager within the Community Development Department in early August with an annual salary of $55,300. Donna, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Just that I'm very excited to begin working with Rebecca. Given her background, given her extensive project management experience, I think it'll be a very good fit within the department, and knowing all the projects that we have going forward. I think her experience with the trustees for reservation gives her a good environmental planning background. I think that will be helpful as we continue on not only parks projects that we have in front of us, but certainly for Greylock Glen. So yes, I look forward to having her start and having the board members meet her. I think she'll kind of hit the ground running. I would remind the board that this is a position that's funded through Community Development Block Grant Funds, so.
Thank you. Let's get a motion a second, then we can have discussion. Do we have a motion from the board?
I'll make a motion to ratify the appointment of Rebecca Ferguson to position of program manager within the Community Development Department. Period.
Motion made by Rick. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Christine. Now, discussion. Any questions for Donna? Hearing,
Well, I would just like to comment that she has a very good resume. It's well-rounded. She's done, at least on paper, certainly a different array of occupation types, and it's a very important position for this town, and it looks like we have a good candidate.
I agree.
okay, thank you, Joe. Anything else? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none, unanimous. Next on the agenda, Traffic Commission request, no parking zone extended from the intersection of Thompson and Friend Street.
Mr. Chairman, before the Traffic Commission comes forward with this request, I will recuse myself of this, as this is an item that I spearheaded in my neighborhoods back in 2014, and I feel that I need to recuse myself because of it.
Okay.
I'll join you after.
Chief?
I believe everybody has a copy of the letter from the Traffic Commission regarding it. The bold print is what the recommendation is, and just to give you a quick summation on this. The area in question was actually addressed back in 2015 by us, myself and the board through the Traffic Commission. It's reflected in the minutes, I believe, of December 17th, and the letter to Town Clerk Haley Meswar, I believe, was dated the 22nd of December of 15. Basically, at that time, the board's action was to take and have the signs removed and also designate that area, both sides, north and south sides of the roadway, as no parking from the intersection up. What we did in the letter that is presented to you this evening was to put in language with a measurement, I believe, of 283 feet, 4 inches west from the intersection of Friend Street. This way here, once it goes into traffic regulations under Article, and I'm going off the top of my head here, Article 6, Section 202-41, certain areas of prohibited parking, it'll go in under Thompson Street, and now you have a measurement showing the start to the end. This language needs to go into the traffic regs in order for it to have enforcement aspects attached to it. Really and truly, it is a housekeeping issue because we have addressed this a few years ago, and that's why we're bringing it before the board this evening, asking for a proper, not that it wasn't proper before, but just a more clear wording that where there it can go into the traffic regs.
Okay, Chief, you are the chairman of the Traffic Commission,
Yes, sir.
and you did provide the board a letter, so let me just read through that.
Sure.
Get some more details, and then if there's any questions. Dear Chairman Duval, on Tuesday, June 26, 2018, the Adams Traffic Commission convened this meeting. The commission heard and reviewed several items that were on the agenda. The majority of the issues were resolved at this level, with one issue being tabled until the next meeting for proper follow-up and recommendation. The Traffic Commission did hear and review several complaints regarding a parking situation on Thompson Street, with a formal request to relocate the existing no parking signs. A summation of the complaint is that vehicles parking between the existing signs and the corner of Thompson Street, where it intersects with Friend Street, creates a definite safety concern and narrowing of the roadway. The proximity with the intersection causes vehicles to back up while others are allowed to pass, resulting in near collisions. The situation only intensifies during the winter months as snowbanks create additional narrowing of the travel lanes. The Traffic Commission unanimously, and here is where it is in bold as your recommendation, recommends that the Board of Selectmen approve that the current no parking zone be extended from the intersection of Thompson Street and Friend Street. The formal recommendation would be that the area both north and south sides be designated as no parking from the intersection of Thompson Street at Friend Street for a distance of 283 feet and 4 inches west on Thompson Street. This would be through an amendment of Article, which you got right, 6, SS 202-41, that applies to parking prohibited on certain streets. Please note, there appears to be a possible housekeeping issue. On December 22nd, 2014, the Board of Selectmen approved the Traffic Commission's request for a no parking designation on the north and south sides of Thompson Street, as well as the crest of Thompson Street, just off Friend Street. At that time, the signs were found to be missing, and the request was there for replacement, and the designation of the area be made within the traffic regulations. I remember that. This is reflected in the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes dated December 17, 2014, and a letter to Town Clerk Haley Meswar dated December 22, 2014. On behalf of the Traffic Commission, I would like to thank you for your time and assistance with this matter. Any further questions, feel free to contact yourself. Respectfully yours, Richard W. Tarsa, Jr., Chairman. Okay, so now we have all the details. The Chief has provided some inputs or anything else after I read that you would like to add, reminded you of anything? Okay.
Not at this time regarding this issue.
Okay. It's open to the board. Any questions from the board? Okay. Hearing none. Do we have a motion to accept the Traffic Commission's request?
I make a motion to accept the Traffic Commission's request, no parking zone be extended from the intersection of Thompson Street and French Street.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rick. Now, does that motion cover?
Yes, I
Okay.
believe so. Town council's here, if we need an opinion.
Okay, so we have a motion, second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None.
Thank you. The item that has been tabled is Phillips Hill. The residents up there approached the commission because of a parking issue by Mullen Moving Company, not Mullen Mayflower. We have a possible solution to the issue up there. I spoke with Mr. Mullen today, along with Mr. Frazier, his manager. We're going to hold a meeting on the 31st of this month at 2 o'clock in the Mahogany Room regarding it. And I think the idea that we have, I think it's going to take and resolve the issue to the satisfaction of both sides. And several issues, I know one of them that's been brought up in the past was the rotary, or the roundabout, the lack of a yield sign coming out of Renfrew. That is on order. We're just waiting for it to come in. And also, when they did the intersection over, they never put the 25 mile per hour sign on the north end of Friend Street, we'll say at the property line of McAndrews King and the First Residence. When they did the whole intersection, they took the sign down, but the state never put it back up. That is on order as well. So those issues are being resolved because they were brought up at the meeting. Also, Hoosick Street, where the trail crossing is, there was concerns about cars going through. We needed some kind of signage, so we put 2 pedestrian signs out there. They seem to work, except somebody keeps removing them from the road onto the sidewalk, which accomplishes nothing. But there were a lot of other issues that we resolved at our meeting, and hopefully that they don't resurface. But thank you. I just wanted you to know what else we covered that night.
Great, thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Next on the agenda is approval of 2018 state primary warrant. We have our town clerk here. Kelly, if we have any questions? Yep. Okay, so we have, this is from Thomas A. Sackcode, Constable of the Town of Adams. This is for the 2018 state primary warrant. Okay, so I'll read some of this here. In the name of the Commonwealth, you are hereby required to notify and warn the inhabitants of said Town of Adams who are qualified to vote in primaries to vote as precincts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at the Adams Highway Department Garage, 92 North Summer Street in said Adams on Tuesday, the 4th day of September 2018, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. for the following purpose: to cast their votes in state primaries for the candidates of political parties for the following offices: Senator in Congress for the Commonwealth, the Governor of the Commonwealth, Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth, Attorney General of the Commonwealth, Secretary of State for the Commonwealth, Treasurer and Receiver General for the Commonwealth, Auditor for the Commonwealth, Representative in Congress from the 1st District, Counselor from the 8th District, Senator in General Court, Berkshire, Hampshire, Franklin, and Hamden districts, Representative in General Court, 1st Berkshire District, District Attorney, Berkshire District, Clerk of Courts, Berkshire County, Register of Deeds, Berkshire Northern District. Any questions that you may have? Okay, do we have a motion to set the 2018 state primary warrant?
I'll make a motion to accept the 2018 state primary warrant for Tuesday, the 4th day of September 2018, with the polls being open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. as, with the slate as presented by the chairman. Or
Motion.
recited.
Motion by Christine, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rick. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, none, unanimous decision. Facility use request for the town common, Northern Berkshire Habitat for Humanity, 61 Main Street, Suite 246, North Adams, Mass., July 29th, 2018. Could you please state your name and your organization, please?
Brad Shuckler, Northern Berkshire Habitat for Humanity. We're looking to take over running the pedal and plod.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah, we're excited about it, to be a kind of a signature event for the summer. I kind of got dumped into it real short order, so I've been scampering to get things together. I'll say one substantial thing for the race that Habitat requires, it will now be a $2 million coverage instead of $1 million coverage for runners and participants. Kind of gives us a little bit better coverage, insurance-wise. We do have some good donations coming in. It looks like it's better than last year right now, without the request that I saw that the town had granted us, granted the event last year, but it's looking real good. We got quite a few people already signed up, and we're real excited about hosting the event, and the Habitat Board is pretty excited about having this our signature event for the summer.
So it's, the request is for July 29th, 2018,
Sunday morning.
7 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, for the pedal and plod. Number of participants anticipated 100. You will be cleaning up the area.
Yes.
Okay. You have your insurance in order. Let's see, 2 to 3 officers will be required. Have you talked to the chief? You all set on?
I've been chasing on that. I haven't connected with him yet, but I see he's here, so I will be chatting with him before I leave.
And Donna Season has also signed off. And is it the same route as it
Yeah, we're
always
gonna
has
keep,
been?
yeah, we're not trying to recreate the wheel. Just trying to go, I understand that's kind of the preferred route as opposed to being up and down Route 8, not as much traffic on Route 8. I agree with that, too.
Okay.
It's a good ride. I've ridden the race before myself.
Oh, you
too.
have?
Yeah.
Okay. And there are some areas that the officers have to stop traffic
Yeah,
and
yeah.
for safety.
I have already been in contact with the state police, and we're on their event and stuff. I just need to finalize with the chief, and then with, I believe Cheshire needs to hear from us also.
Right, because this also goes through Cheshire.
Right.
Let's see, so it's the same route. That's all I have. Any questions from the board?
I have a question.
Sure.
So that would air be on TV. What is the actual kickoff time for the,
The race, I believe, is 8:30.
okay,
What we're looking at for a start time.
all right. Because I know it starts at 7 to 1, but there was.
Right.
I had no information.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
As to
yeah.
the start time, so that we can close down the roadway and
Yeah.
schedule the officers accordingly.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Do you have the volunteers you need, or do you need
I-
to make
I
a
believe
request
so.
off the TV land to?
No, we have quite a good collection coming.
Great. Good to hear.
I've a few guys that work me have been voluntold, so, but yeah, I think we have a good group coming. Habitat Board, there's quite a few volunteers, and some of the people who volunteer for Habitat, I believe, are gonna be there also, along with a couple of people who've been involved with the event before, so.
Awesome. And again, thank you for taking on this. You and your organization for taking
Yeah,
on.
we're excited about it. I'm glad it's gonna, again, like I said, I've run in it, my son's running it, and we're looking forward to seeing it stay healthy and strong event and good thing for the community, so.
Good, okay. Is there any questions from the board, or do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to grant the use of the town common for the Northern Berkshire Habitat for Humanity on July 29th, 2018, from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., and with just, everything will be cleaned up after the race.
Yes, sir.
And I'd also like to thank you for stepping in and taking over the event. It's kind of a showcase event here and during our busy summertime, so thank you and your group.
Our pleasure. We're excited about it, so.
Great.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
We have a second. Christine seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, none, unanimous. Thank you and good luck. Is there anything else under new business? Okay, department reports, town administrator reports. Donna?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The town has been notified that our Tier 3 Complete Streets construction funding application has been approved for partial funding at $290,281 for the project ranked number 1, which is reconstruction of Corrado Street, and this focuses on sidewalks and handicap ramps. Even though we did not receive the full funding amount of $400,000 that was requested, Mass DOT noted that this past round has been extremely competitive, and they indicated that the town should be proud of its application. They'll be sending out contracts to us. We'll have until September 30th of 2019 to complete the construction project. We are under design for that, and we would expect to finish the design this fall, so we would be able to put the project out to bid in December or January and to maximize the use of the 2019 construction period. So I'm confident that we can meet that, that deadline. So anyways, that's good news. As the board knows, bids were due on Thursday, July 12th for the town hall roof replacement project. This news isn't so good. Unfortunately, we only received a single bid, and that bid was deemed unacceptable. We'll reach out to contractors to ask them what has been their hesitancy. You know, we had a lot of interest. We sent out the bid documents to a lot of roofing contractors. So our suspicion is that we required DCAM certification because we weren't sure where the bid results would fall for projects over, I believe it's 150,000. You know, you are required to have DCAM certification, so we erred on the side of caution. But I think I'll be talking to the architect. We'll probably make that adjustment. And then the architect will be reaching out to contractors. I hope to reissue the bid as soon as possible. The other thing I want to mention is I know from a couple of board members I've had some concern expressed about the sidewalk crossings and the failure of the paint, the visibility of the crossings. So DPW, they've ordered the paint. They should be getting started on doing all the crossings and refreshing that by next week. They'll focus on Park Street first, then move to Commercial Street, and then finish Route 8 North, and then they'll go to some of the other streets like Summer and stuff. So I did want to tell the board, though, that that is high on the agenda. So that's all.
And that's something that we do not contract out, we do that ourselves.
Yes, I mean, we have done, obviously, on Columbia Street Highway, that is contracted out, and we have thought about, should we contract that out, because there's, given the crew that's smaller, we need a lot of catch basin repairs and things like that, but I think we'll go forward and get the crossings done this year in-house.
Okay. And this is just my personal opinion, and I understand that we're shorthanded, and I understand that they have a lot to do. Mm-hmm. Nothing against the DPW in any way, but it would be nice if possible, we could have the sidewalks done in spring when everybody gets out and enjoying the weather, and then possibly touched up for the fall prior to school. I know we always did it in the past, right, you know, pretty close to school beginning, which is the,
right.
You know, you want to do that, of course.
Yep.
But in the spring until now, it just, everything fades away. We're a tourist community, and it just seems like it looked really nice. When it's done, it does. But that's something we can talk about in the future.
Okay.
And in regards to the Complete Streets program, I'd like to request the board, I've talked to Donna, and it really is Donna's idea, that we have a workshop down in the Corrado Street area, possibly at the softball field, and have a meeting with the residents of that area We can go over the Complete Street Program plans and also the resurfacing of Corrado and Cook Street, I believe, and plus Murray Street. I think it'd be a great idea if the board could hold a meeting down in that area, for really that precinct, and not just for these updates, but any other concerns that the local residents have. I think it'd be a good idea for the board to get out there and try to hit all the precincts throughout the year.
Yeah,
And to listen to the voters.
As we've talked, just a good old-fashioned neighborhood meeting, where the board gets out, can meet one-on-one with residents, tell them what we're doing for their neighborhood, and explain some of these projects in greater detail than we may do during this context, but then also to be able to listen to their issues firsthand. So I'd like to, start that in that area with that precinct, so we can start to form that and present it to the board for your input.
It'd also be nice to other town offices, possibly the police chief, the fire chief, the first responders, the town clerk, or town treasurer, or anyone that we feel as a board that would be, that would help in the discussion and answering the questions of the residents. And we can use Corrado Street as a test case, and we can just discuss what's good things that are happening, and also listen to their concerns.
Right.
Thank you. Any other questions for Donna in regard to the town administrator's report?
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
yeah.
I concur with you. I'd like to see the crossings done in early spring. I know it's probably a strategic thing. And as far as contracting out, I know we contract out for the highway lines, right? And it's a catch-22, because what happens if we contract out the crossings? I don't like really how it goes, because the highway goes out and then they just put it because the paint's quick drying, but it becomes almost like an obstacle course. There's no one there to direct traffic, because we don't want to spend the extra money. But if we have a crew do it from the outside, they'll have to have police there, directing the traffic. So it'd be much more costly if we brought that out for the private to do, because you must have seen when they do the crossings, they just do them and then they hustle and leave, and there's cars coming, here going around, and it's like a little obstacle course without any.
That's why in talking to the foreman, we're actually talking about our crew, the painting crew in-house, would do it in the evenings.
Yeah.
Just like they have to plow around the clock, they would do it in the evenings where traffic is at a minimum.
Yeah.
Just to address that very thing. And I would add that, yes, we'd love to get the crossings done and the line painting done in early spring. As you probably know, the temperature is a big, impediment. The temperature, the paint will not adhere to the pavement unless it's a certain temperature. It has to be sustained temperatures, and I don't know the exact number, but it's 55, 65, 60 degrees, something like that. So it's always that trade-off when you want to get out there. We've examined looking at the plastic, but I don't know about you, but I hate the way the tires just peel it up, and then that starts looking terrible. So wish we lived in Florida sometimes to make some of these issues, not to, but those are some of the problems that we have given our cool temperatures.
All right, Donna, thank you for that input, and we'll have more discussion.
And
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
have one other question or
Yep.
comment. As I mentioned at our last meeting, we have to take a good look at the condition of Park Street. It's starting to crack, and
Right.
we've got a lot to lose in our investment, so I don't know if there's monies or if it's even a good idea to put the ceiling in like you see at other
Yes.
highways and
We
things.
have, again, the Foreman and I have discussed that. I believe it's more September that we'll
Right.
do that, but it is also on their radar. So thank
Okay.
you for bringing that again to my attention.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Okay, next we have Town Council report. Attorney St. John.
Thank you. Since my last report, I performed work on the following matters. Had discussions with opposing counsel in a court concerning a pending case. I reviewed and researched an issue concerning an easement. I met with town personnel and prepared a report relative to that meeting. And I had discussions with an attorney for a private citizen concerning use of public property, and I had communications with staff concerning that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Attorney St. John? Okay, hearing none. Subcommittee and liaison reports. Rick?
Nothing.
Christine?
Just one subcommittee report, the Regional Agreement Advisory Committee. That's the committee that's looking at the school district agreement. We met earlier this week to review the work that we've been doing since November. Our next meeting is August 20th to really look at the entire document and then forward that on to the school district, the school committee, as we are appointed by the school committee for that work. I believe the school committee will be looking at it at their meeting August 27th, and their legal counsel, I believe, will be involved probably between the meetings of August 20th and 27th, and then it will be sent to legal counsel for both Adams and Cheshire, and it will be sent to the boards of selectmen. So the fall, we will have some meetings. The consultants will come to a selectmen's meeting here, and we'll review the document and all of the changes. And they will also hold a couple of different public information sessions so that town meeting members will be able to hear this information before a special town meeting, if we are able to schedule one for this fall. So there's a couple of things that will be coming up, and I'll continue to keep you informed, but the next date to keep in mind would be August 20th for the committee to be really finalizing their work. That's it.
Okay, Joe?
I just have one report. Last night I attended the Mohawk Trail Woodland Partnership at Berkshire East and Charlemont as the Adams representative. As it stands, we're waiting to hear how the environmental bond bill plays out, as we are here waiting for the Greylock Glen to see how that plays out also. So, you know, there's some eager anticipation, and there's also, you know, the realism that it may not get the funding that we are looking for. So time will tell on that, and I'll let you know the outcome as soon as I can. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Joe. In regards to the environmental bill and the possible funding that hopefully we'll receive, I think that the town does appreciate and thank our representatives to the legislature. They've worked very hard to work to get the funding that we had requested. Senator Adam Hines and Representative Barrett. So we do appreciate their efforts, and I think, keeping our fingers crossed, I think in the end we'll do okay, and it'll be an investment, and we'll continue to work the project. But I think the money that's there now, and we're still waiting, of course, but I think that's going to put us on our way. So again, thank you, everyone, including this Board of Selectmen and Donna Season for many, many years, and also George Haddad, but we'll wait on all this until we get the official notice. So there's more to come in regards to environmental bond bill. And thank you, Joe. Jim?
I don't have anything.
Okay. I had a meeting with the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission. We did elect officers, and just for your information, I was elected as the treasurer of the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Making my way up there. Okay, that's it for subcommittee liaison reports. Announcements and good of the order. Rick?
I have nothing.
Christine?
A couple things. This weekend is MagicCon. It's the second annual MagicCon event. This year, it is a 2-day event with concert and contests on Saturday, July 21st, and then on Sunday, July 22nd. There are a number of educational programs that people could attend. So everything will be happening up at the Glen. There are shuttles that are running from downtown to the Glen, as parking is will be a little tricky with all those people. But festivities kick off Saturday, July 21st at noon, and they will wrap up with Harry and the Potters around 5:30. I believe Harry and the Potters are going on earlier in the afternoon. It says around 3 o'clock. And then on Sunday, from noon until, I believe, 5 o'clock. And we do have Eugene Mikulenko, who's even teaching one of the classes about the history of Greylock. So it should be a great event, and thank you to Pro Adams for putting out these publications and for Donna bringing it to the meeting so that I had the information. I wanted to thank the Hoosick Valley Elementary School PTG for the collaborative art display that is on display here in Town Hall for the month of July. They had a light reception just prior to our meeting here, but it's a great display of artwork from teachers, parents, and children. I think they said about 40 of the children participated in that project, so I wanted to thank them. And the last note here is a bit of a sad note for Northern Berkshire. I was saddened to learn of the passing of Al Nelson. Al is somebody probably most of us are familiar with. He was the former executive director of the Northern Berkshire United Way, had a career in radio prior to that, founder of the Interfaith Collaborative. I got to work with Al a lot with the Northern Berkshire Community Coalition, and he was an incredible gentleman, and I was actually very honored to be recipient of a Spirit Award from the Northern Berkshire United Way alongside Al just 2 months ago. So my condolences to Al's family and the entire Northern Berkshire family.
Okay, thank you. Joe?
Yeah, I'd like to echo what Christine just said. I knew Al quite well over the years. He was certainly a gentleman, a good family man, and really cared deeply about the Northern Berkshire community, and was a friend to anybody who would like to stand by his side, and he certainly will be missed. A few things I have, I just got something about the 2019 budget that the governor needs to sign, just a few highlights. Because of the more incoming tax revenue than it was expected, a few highlights I believe would affect us. Unrestricted general government aid will be up $37.2 million. School aid and local contributions will be up $57 million. Special education circuit breaker, that is for students with exceptional needs that some schools can't take in because they don't have the means to give the child what they need. That's going to be lifted $33.2 million. Regional school transportation, district transportation is going to be up $7.4 million. And municipal police training fund, there'll be a $2 surcharge on each rental car transaction, and also some of the surplus tax revenue will be going toward training for police officers. And that's some of the highlights. And lastly, when I attended a zoning board of appeals meeting, I was asked to announce during a televised selectmen meeting that they're looking for 2 alternates to the zoning board of appeals. So if anyone out there has some interest to serve on the board, it's certainly something that will take a learning curve, but it's a very interesting board, and I hope some people out there would find interest and come and just take a look at what you may have to do as a citizen. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Joe. Jim?
I don't have anything.
Okay, I did attend Nashville in the Berkshires. I want to thank everyone that put the time in to make that happen for the second year in a row down at Bow Field. The train station platform looks great. I believe eventually we will have a ceremony to a grand opening for that. I did receive a card. Erica continues to make us look good here from the Council on Aging. To the Board of Selectmen, and as an elderly citizen of our town of Adams, I would like to thank you for providing the funding for transporting folks to doctors and other appointments. The van drivers are most courteous, helpful, and friendly. They go above and beyond the call of duty in servicing us. Please continue to fund this excellent service, as it is extremely necessary to our elderly. Because of the service, many are able to get around, even to enjoy activities at the center. Sincerely, Francis Meyer, I believe is the name, so thank you for that input. It's always great to hear some positive input from the community. And that's all I have. Okay, so we have an executive session. Going to need a motion to go into executive session for the reasons stated, and the only business that we will conduct when we come out of executive session is to adjourn. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to go into executive session.
We have a motion from Jim. Do we have a second?
Can we specify a little bit more about why we're going in?
Could you read the
Just read the little blurb.
Yeah, good point.
Okay, to comply with or act under the authority of any general or special law or federal grant and aid requirements.
I'll second.
And a second by Rick. This is a roll call vote. Rick?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
John is yes. Joe?
Yes.
And Jim? Okay, we'll take a 3-minute break.